So here I am, once again, but with a lot less hair. My hair didn't make it through the war. I always feel the need to point out when I get a haircut in one of these videos because I feel like I just need to beat the observer to seeing it first. There has always been something very socially high-strung for me about getting a haircut, which is that it is something that draws people to observing your physical appearance and often commenting on it, usually in a kind way or just like a neutral way, like your haircut looks good, or even just, oh, you got a haircut. But there's something that really gets me a little bit tense about people pointing out something on me physically. Which is interesting. It's very interesting because I kind of want people to notice it. I mean, I'm insulted if they don't notice it. Or if they don't say anything about it. If they don't say anything about it, I usually just assume that it's bad. And that's my ultimate fear whenever I get a haircut. It's like, it's going to look bad and I can't attach hair on my head. I have to just let it grow out for a couple weeks. But I've had insecurities about my physical appearance since, I mean, almost as far back as I can remember, probably middle school. And yeah, it's just a very weird time period after I get a haircut, feeling like I'm a bit under a microscope with the people that I know. And there's something that also just makes me feel like people around me that I don't even know, like strangers on the street, can tell this guy got a haircut and he's still adjusting to it. Every time I look in the mirror, I'm just like, oh, that's still taking some getting used to, you know? But I also love getting a haircut. I love that the first shower that you take after getting a haircut, you need to use like a teaspoon of shampoo, and often you forget that, and you put your habitual huge glob on there, and then most of it just runs off your head. I love that. I love just feeling freer and lighter, especially with the way my hair just was right before I got it cut. It was really starting to it was starting to come down this side like I was a bass player in some popular emo alternative band from 2007. And so it felt really good to get it snipped, and it just felt like that was me officially cutting loose from 2022 Joe. There was nothing wrong with him. He was perfectly good in his own way, and it just felt like that was the marker of the new year. Cutting off that hair was me crossing that start line. And then taking the shower afterward just felt like any sort of like little remnants of things that are still perturbing me about last year. It can just be washed away. And I had a really, really nice little self-talk yesterday, a nice little self-therapy session. And this doesn't totally have to do with getting the haircut, but it did feel very connected in some like spiritual way. Every time I get a haircut, it's like, here's a time to reevaluate everything about myself. If I don't look the same as I did before, that is an indication that I am indeed not the same in some way. That's a dramatic analysis, but it's true. It's a reminder to me that I am ever changing. And so if I am ever changing, I'm going to try to steer that boat in the right direction to be changing into a place that's way better than it was before. Or even just marginally better than it was before can sometimes feel like you just leapt over the Grand Canyon. I know that looks are not everything, but how I feel about myself is usually directly proportional to how good I'm taking care of my hygiene and how much I'm keeping up a physical appearance that makes me happy. Not even that makes anybody else happy, but just how much I am showing up for myself. How much I am repping my brand of being Joe with my peers and my friends and family and coworkers. Of course, the scariest thing about starting over in any capacity, as symbolized by getting your hair cut, is that you don't know where this chapter is going to take you, and it might end up being a darker chapter than some of the previous ones, even with the highest hopes that you have. But you know, no matter how great or not so great it goes, eventually I'll always be able to just cut it all loose.